This is NHTV2, North Haven Government Television, a service of North Haven Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the town of North Haven.
Good evening and welcome to the June 2021 Board of Police Commissioners meeting for Town North Haven. My name is Larry Lazaroff, Chairman. To my left is Robin Wilson, Vice Chairman. To my right is Mark Calafiore, Secretary. Commissioner Meade, Commissioner Hannon. I'd like to ask for approval of the minutes for the May 25th, 2021 meeting, both regular and executive session.
Second.
Any discussion, any corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good, thank you. Mr. Secretary, do we have any correspondences?
Yes, we do, Mr. Chairman. We have two tonight. And one is from a Mrs. Jane Chirolone from 6th Street, and she wants to praise Officer Lou Petrillo. Apparently she had a little incident with her elderly 92-year-old husband. Officer Petrillo went. He was very kind, very professional. She's a great guy, helpful, and I agree. Lou Petrillo's a great guy and a great cop. So good for Lou. And we have one more, and this is from Mr. Ralph Volpe, and he's from Canterbury Way, I believe. Apparently there was some kind of issue there, some kind of parking issue that was caused by an estate sale. Officer Sananis was dispatched there, responded. He was also very professional, very helpful, and helped this gentleman with the traffic issues that he had on the street. So thank you, Officer Sananis. Job well done. Also, Alex Sananis, I also know him very well too. He is also a very, very good cop and a very good guy.
Excellent.
And that is it.
Excellent, thank you. For the Chairman's report, I don't really have much. I just want to remind the public to please lock your cars, your sheds, your homes. Just do the prudent thing, because you know what's going on, not just in North Haven, but in all surrounding communities. So we have to help ourselves to decrease the possibility of having any situations where we don't want to be involved in. Another reminder that school is now out, so please be careful while driving. There are children at play, children playing ball, bicycles, skateboards, motorcycles, etc. So please just be a little bit more careful, as we always should be anyway. I want to thank the officers in the North Haven Police Department for participating in the Memorial Day Parade. I was not able to march this year, but I heard many, many great things about how well they looked, and so I just want to thank the department, the chief and deputy, very much for that. And also the men and women who also did the patrolling and the street protection, because they weren't marching, so they were walking rather than marching. Also like to thank the officers who took part in the Special Olympics torch run, which I'm sure Chief will expand upon. So it's a great cause, and we've always been very supportive of that in this community, and I truly appreciate your efforts on that. And reminding everybody that concerts begin this coming next week, I guess, July 6th, Town North Haven on the Town Green. So I hope you all come out and enjoy them, as we all will. So with that, I will pass the torch for the Chief and the Chief's report.
Thank you. I'll start with my budget report. We're currently at 95.7% expended as we close out the end of this fiscal year. There may be a few thousand more dollars that gets taken off of our budget before June 30th, but we're in very good shape, very confident we'll be at least 4% under budget at the close of the books. On the traffic report, we finished milling and paving. The town paved approximately 10 miles of roadway, which is a lot considering the past few years. And obviously officers provided traffic control for the paving crews. We talked last month about the railroad construction jobs. There were two of them that caused some traffic delays. Since our last meeting, the construction site at Spring and Leyden has been resolved. Because of the raising of the tracks, there was a speed bump that was formed that we determined to be unsafe because of the height of the bump. So that's been resolved since then. All the new signs have been completely installed on Cloudland Road, Fortune Drive, and Horseshoe Hill Road since our last meeting. As the chairman stated, the Memorial Day Parade was delayed a week, but it went off well, and we appreciate Sergeant DePascal, who did the operation, the overall operation of the parade and the traffic control all the road closures and detours, and we think it went well. We have 3 traffic requests this month. The first is from last month, which was tabled to this month, and that's for signage on Old Broadway East. The recommendation from the police department was for no parking signs along the north side of Old Broadway East. Chairman Lazaroff, would you like to discuss this?
Yes. So today, I'm in receipt of a letter from the attorney with regards to this matter, just actually a few minutes ago. So we're going to have to review this letter, share it with the other commissioners, and probably forward this on along to our town attorney for discussion and for advice. So we'll have to table this discussion for Old Broadway until we have further information from, I guess, the other attorney as well. So that's where we should leave off with that, I think. Any comment on that, guys?
Makes sense.
It does make sense, you know?
Agreed.
Yeah. Good.
The second traffic request is for signage on Colette Street for a handicap parking space. Sergeant DePascal, as he usually does when a request is made, he does some research, completes a report, which you were all forwarded. We determined that state statutes, as well as the manual on traffic control, does not have regulations for on-street handicap parking. There are no on-street handicap parking spaces in the entire town of North Haven, and this is a restricted parking zone with permits only to park on the street. So our recommendation is to not install handicap parking there, but authorize an extra permit to park on the street for the gentleman who frequents there, the family member.
So with regards to Colette, the issue has been resolved as far as the business that was having an issue with the residents?
I'm not sure I'd say completely resolved. We're there from time to time, but it's much better.
Okay. So is it going to be continuing need to keep these parking permits in place?
It is, yes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if you'd like to entertain
Entertain a motion for that?
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The third traffic request is for a temporary road closure of Garfield Avenue between Weyland Street and Mowry Street. That should be in your packet also. This is for a small block party for the neighborhood. It's scheduled for Sunday, August 22nd, between noon and 6 p.m. It's such a small part of the street that the request to shut down, it only affects 3 residential driveways. None of the homeowners object to that.
Do I hear a motion for discussion or acceptance?
Make a
So
motion.
moved.
Make a motion to close the temporary closing for Garfield.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. I hope you have a good time.
And just to backtrack 2 steps, if we could have a motion to table the first request.
Sure. Do I have a motion to table the first request till we have further information?
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. I'm going to ask Deputy Chief Lofquist to give an update on our CLIA status.
As I stated at the last month's meeting, we completed our year 4 assessments. That's the final year of our CLIA process before we go to the full-blown on-site assessment. In light of some COVID concerns that still exist in other part of the countries, the assessors that are going to be doing our year 4, our final assessment for the 4-year cycle, they're going to be doing that virtually, which creates some issues, but we're trying to work through them right now. Lieutenant Thorpe, with the assistance of North Haven Community Television, did a virtual kind of walk-around recording of the building. He's going to narrate that. That's per their request, and that will give them an overview of what our building looks like, what our facility, since they're not going to be in person here. The last time they were here, if you do or do not remember, we were under construction. So a lot of the things they couldn't actually review because the demolition process had started. They met with, virtually, we met with the command staff with our 2 assessors. There's a retired chief from Virginia, and then there's a captain who's currently on the job who works out of small town in New Jersey. They're going to be dialing in remotely. There's different functions that they have to do that they're going to be looking for. Part of it is they want to talk to community persons and to determine how the North Haven Police Department is doing as far as whether we're meeting the CLIA standards or not, and what the people's opinions are of how we do our jobs on a day-to-day basis. We are going to publish, since it is remote, they're not going to be coming in and talking to somebody directly. We're going to set up some type of virtual Zoom thing or a dial-in where the community members can call in and voice their comments. That has to be posted. We plan on posting that on our social media accounts that we have here at the police station and putting something out. It's a formal announcement that will go out into the newspapers that, you know, these are the available times and the date that you can call in. The assessment's actually going to be done July 12th through the 14th. We haven't finalized with the assessors the time for that call-in period for their public comments, but when we do, we'll do that shortly and we'll get that information out to the public. They also may want to talk to one or two of the commissioners. Again, that hasn't been decided yet as far as who they're looking to speak to. We kind of provided them with some, you know, thoughts that we have, and they expressed some, you know, thoughts back to us, so we're trying to put a list together for them. There's formal discussions they want to have with people within the agency and within the community, and then there's the general dial-in that the public forum, which will, like I said, we'll post some of that online.
When you know the time on those for the general forums, would you let us know?
Yes, when it gets close, though, like I said, between Lieutenant Thorpe, myself, and the assessors, they'll indicate kind of who they want to talk to. They usually talk to different members within the department, you know, some different ranks. They may want to talk to a commissioner or something as far as the relationship between, you know, what you have as, you know, a political entity that oversees us, and, you know, what your thoughts or concerns may be, and then some other community members as well. Those are like the formal interviews.
You said that there'll be, that community members can get on a Zoom call.
Right.
That's what I.
That's a different section.
When
There's the
you know-
formal interviews they want to do.
Right. When
Yes.
you know the community one, would you also let us
Yeah,
know
I'll,
that?
you know, we'll get the chief to send it out to you guys directly, and then, like I said, we'll put it in the media circle and stuff like that and get it out there so the public will be aware of it.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank you.
Thank you.
So we're envisioning that Zoom meeting, it's supposed to be a public forum, you know, auditorium style. Obviously, we can't do that. We'll probably use IT manager to set up something here. So it could be a public, semi-public meeting where people can take turns speaking to the assessors via Zoom, but with people in person here. So you'll all be invited to that if you'd like to attend, as well as the deputy said, the call-in is just a one-on-one. It's a hotline that anybody can call in, and then the formal interviews. But we'll keep you in a loop as far as what that schedule looks like for everything.
Great, thank you.
Moving on, we need to consider the approval of meeting dates for next year for 2022. You should have that in your packet. Just to summarize that, from January through October, it's the fourth Tuesday of every month. The months of November and December, to avoid any holiday conflicts or potential conflicts, we're scheduled for the third Tuesday of every month, and they're scheduled for 6 p.m. at police headquarters.
Do I have a motion to accept the meeting dates for the calendar year 2022?
I'll make a motion to approve the correspondence that was sent to Stacy Yarborough.
Okay, any for a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent.
Great. Under personnel, as we spoke briefly last month, we're currently accepting applications for both certified lateral officers as well as entry-level police officers. We're using policeapp.com to facilitate that application process, and the CPCA for the testing agency. This closes on June 30th, so it's still open. And this is for one currently open position now and 3 positions that are authorized for funding beginning in January 2022. As of this morning, we've had 89 entry-level applicants and 3 certified lateral applicants. So once it closes, we'll vet that list, we'll provide you the information, and we'll begin the process there.
Is that an average, you think, or above average or below average number of people who apply for this position?
It's below average. Yeah, everyone's experiencing the same issues as far as not only applicants, but the testing agencies, getting people who are interested in applying.
That's 89 for the town of North Haven, or also the surrounding towns?
Just for North Haven.
Just for North Haven, okay.
But 91 altogether.
Yes, 92.
92. Oh. Got me.
The testing.
You
And
found
ISD and USD, we talked about it last month, but I just want to highlight it again. I think it's a great program for our community. We partnered with Quinnipiac Valley Health on this overdose map program, and that was funded through a grant where we provide information for victims of non-fatal overdoses to Quinnipiac Valley Health. They have counselors, again, funded by a grant that do some outreach for addiction services to try to get the victims of these overdoses into treatment as early as possible. So I think it's a great program and definitely worth the effort for the officers as well as Quinnipiac Valley Health, and we appreciate that partnership we have. A second partnership that we created is with BH Care. They are the organization that provides, amongst other things, they have an umbrella of other organizations, but they provide domestic violence victim advocate services for most of New Haven County. We help them obtain a grant just through support. They obtained the grant with our help. And this grant is going to allow domestic violence victim advocates to be funded to work night shifts. Currently, the victim advocates only work in the courts Monday through Friday when the courts are open. If a victim of domestic violence responds to court or calls them, they're provided advice and advocacy at that time. This is going to allow us to work with them once the scene is safe to get victim advocates in homes or wherever intimate partner violence occurs, so that that advocacy and support and that advice starts right away. This is a pilot program, something we're really proud of. It's the first program in the state of Connecticut. It's North Haven and New Haven that are going to be provided the first victim advocate, and we have some meetings scheduled in the next couple of weeks to get that figured out, how it's really going to work operationally, but it's something we're proud of as far as getting that started. It's an important program. As I try to do every month to give some perspective on year-to-date numbers, Chairman Lazoff pointed out last month, which I agree, comparing this year-to-date to last year-to-date with the COVID implications may skew the numbers a little bit. So I excluded last year's numbers. So these are going to be numbers for year-to-date 2021 compared to 19, 18, and 17. So for overall cost for service, we've responded to, as of this morning, 12,981 compared to 11,148, 10,316, and 10,654. So this year compared to 2019, we responded to over 1,800 more calls already. Compared to 2018, over 2,600 more calls, and 2017, over 2,300 more calls. So, you know, when you look at a 4-year or 5-year snapshot, we're pretty busy. As far as overdoses, this year we're up to 16 responses for overdoses compared to 8, 9, and 11. So it's a substantial increase percentage-wise. Vehicle burglaries, we don't see that substantial increase compared to the previous years. We're at 79 compared to 56, 114, and 72. 2018 is where we saw that spike. We tried to get the message out, that 9 p.m. routine message, lock your car doors. It went down to 56, and this year is 79. Stolen motor vehicles were up substantially this year at 78 so far compared to 28 compared to 10, 15, and 16. And shopliftings were up substantially with 101 this year compared to 54, 74, and 43. For the Veneer Scholarship, I have no requests this month. As the chairman touched on, we recently participated in the Special Olympics Torch Run, which is a great event to support. We have for a very long time. This year was the largest group of officers who volunteered their time to get out there and run just over 5 miles from the North Branford Town Line, up Route 22, down Route 5 to Wallingford. So it's nice to see that many officers participating. Recently, members of our agency have organized a community outreach event. Similar to last month's Comb with a Cop event that was at Friendly's. This month, on Friday, June 25th, so this Friday, from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., we're hosting what we're calling Mission and Popsicle. The event is at Grover Wyman Park and Blakesley Avenue. We hope that families will join us, enjoy some popsicles that the officers are going to provide for the families, and as well as games for the kids, interaction with the officers, and an opportunity to check out the police cars, the vehicles, the equipment, as well as hopefully meet one of our canine officers, but also the canine, which is more important, I hear.
That's this weekend?
This Friday night,
Friday.
6 o'clock to 7. That's all I have for my report.
I heard a couple of compliments from people around town about the comb and the cop.
Good.
A lot, actually, really positive.
So I just have a quick question about calls for service being up, and you went into some detail, which I appreciate.
Sure.
So the scope of these increased crimes has gone from where to where we're seeing a lot more shoplifting, motor vehicles. We're not seeing as much traffic, obviously, then, correct?
Traffic stops are still down last year as well as this year. We've increased slightly compared to our full-blown COVID response. So we're opening it up. Officers are stopping more cars, but not compared to how many cars we were stopping in 2018 and 17.
This is a national trend, I'm assuming, correct?
It is, yeah. Some people will say it's because of COVID. Some will say it's because of police accountability and public relations and officers more willing to do comb with a cop and mission and popsicle and have that positive interaction opposed to negative interaction. With the trend of officers being criticized more and more.
No, well, I applaud you in the department. Tremendous job.
Thank you.
I wonder if things with shoplifting, if there might be a correlation, if you were to look at the ratio between the increase in the amount of retail business relative to the amount of shoplifting. So really, that would show that it was pretty flat if there was a commensurate, even greater increase in
It's
retail
interesting.
business.
Something to look at. We see most of our shopliftings being done at the established stores, the
Target.
Home Depot, Target,
The box
Best
stores,
Buy,
yeah.
That
Dick's
part,
Sporting
yeah,
Goods.
that's what I guess.
Yeah, we've recently started a collaboration with Dick's Sporting Goods where they are hiring. The town's not paying for officers to work there. They're paying to have police presence there. We hope that makes an impact in the entire plaza.
Yeah.
But it's to be seen.
Yeah, just the quantitative number itself might not tell as much as the comparative. Who knows?
And there's more on Universal Drive in that area than there is on Washington Avenue.
We're down there often for shoplifting. So
Anything else?
I just have a few things for executive session.
Okay. Any questions, comments? Entertain a motion to adjourn from regular session to go into executive session for personnel matters.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. So we are back now into regular session after having met in executive session. Any comments from anybody? We're good? Okay, can I entertain a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second. Done. Good night, everybody.
The preceding program is brought to you in part through a grant from the town of North Haven. Watch town meetings or other videos on demand at nhtv.com.